Welcome to our channel, where we explore the extraordinary world of rare coins, hidden treasures, and the jaw-dropping values that can turn pocket change into multi-million-dollar fortunes. And today, you are about to dive into one of the most astonishing coin stories of all time, a tale that combines the magic of minting mishaps, historical context, collector obsession, and the powerful drive of numismatic mystery surrounding none other than the 1987 5-cent Jefferson nickel, a seemingly ordinary coin that has shocked the world by reportedly reaching a staggering value of $71 million, and while many might wonder how a coin with a face value of just 5 cents could ever be associated with such an astronomical price tag, the reality is far more intriguing, layered with layers of mint errors, production quirks, rarity indicators, transitional elements, historical anomalies, and collector hype that all converged on this single piece of American currency, creating a legend that keeps coin experts and treasure hunters talking decades after its release. And so whether you're a seasoned numismatist or someone who just stumbled upon a curious coin in your loose change, this is a story that will leave you stunned and perhaps even sending you racing to check your own coin collection, because once the details of this unique 1987 5-cent piece are fully understood, you'll realize that big money doesn't always come in gold bars or vintage cars. It sometimes arrives in the form of a small, dull-looking nickel that hides secrets worth millions. And it all begins with the United States Mint in the year 1987, a period not particularly marked by dramatic shifts in coin production but still nestled in a fascinating era of numismatic evolution, and the Philadelphia Mint, responsible for minting this particular 1987 5-cent piece, was operating as one of the key facilities in churning out circulation coinage. And although tens of millions of nickels were produced that year, the key to understanding why this specific nickel has achieved such legendary status lies in its minuscule numbers of aberrant minting errors so subtle, so bizarre, and so rare that they effectively transformed this coin into a singular phenomenon in numismatic history. And the first error that numismatists and collectors have noted is what's known as a broad strike error, where the coin is struck without the collar in place, allowing the metal to expand outward beyond its normal dimensions. And in the case of the 1987 nickel, multiple known broad strike specimens exist, but there is one in particular that exhibits a nearly perfect full broad strike without distortion of Jefferson's profile, which is practically unheard of and therefore exceptionally valuable. But even that is just scratching the surface, because another layer of intrigue arises from examples that appear to have been double struck, meaning the coin received two impressions from the die instead of the standard one. And while double strikes are not unheard of, the sheer clarity and unique die rotation between strikes on one famous 1987 specimen has set it apart from all others, showing not only a perfect misalignment but also distinct doubling in both the portrait of Jefferson and the Monticello building on the reverse, thus adding to the uniqueness and driving its value into the stratosphere. And then there is the issue of planchet errors, where coins are struck on the wrong metal or a planchet of a different denomination. And in one astounding discovery, a 1987 5-cent was found struck on a copper penny planchet, weighing just 3.1 grams instead of the typical 5 grams of a nickel. And the contrast between Jefferson's image and the reddish copper color created a coin so visually striking and unprecedented that collectors immediately recognized its potential as a once-in-a-lifetime find. And if that wasn't enough, there have also been rumors of transitional errors, where leftover planchets from previous years or dies from earlier designs are used accidentally, possibly explaining why some 1987 nickels have shown reverse design elements more consistent with earlier 1980s models. And while the Mint has never officially confirmed these anomalies, the number of verified oddities in the 1987 series continues to grow, with collectors and experts submitting their coins for third-party grading and authentication only to have the leading services return them as unique, unclassified, or possibly transitional, each designation increasing the aura of mystery surrounding the coin and feeding its skyrocketing valuation in collector markets. And the presence of die cracks and die clashes in multiple examples further contributes to the 1987 lore, as certain coins exhibit unusual raised lines across the obverse and reverse fields, suggestive of worn dies or improper die alignment. And these die-related errors might not seem valuable in ordinary cases, but when they appear in such a rare combination, double strike, off-metal planchet, broad strike, rotated dies, and clash marks, all in one coin, as has been documented in at least one certified specimen, the cumulative effect on its market value becomes massive. And as auction records and private sales indicate, the bidding wars over this unique error-ridden 1987 nickel have driven its price into the tens of millions, with one particular specimen reportedly sold in a private transaction for $71 million, making it one of the most expensive coins ever to change hands. And while skeptics might scoff at such figures, the undeniable reality is that rare collectibles, especially those with historical significance and irreplicable errors, can command prices well beyond their intrinsic material value. And in the case of the 1987 P5 cent, the legend has only grown stronger with time, fueled by stories of mistruck coins turning up in family heirlooms, garage sales, or dusty piggy banks, where their owners had no idea they were holding onto a multi-million-dollar treasure. And the psychology of rarity plays a huge role in this coin's value as well, because when only a handful of these highly flawed, mint-era-laden nickels exist in the wild, demand among elite collectors, many of whom operate in private circles, attending exclusive auctions and often dealing in quiet back-channel negotiations, drives the perceived value exponentially higher. And as media coverage of such coins increases and social media platforms spread images and rumors of rare finds, the public fascination with this particular coin continues to intensify, adding layers of myth and mystery to an already compelling story. And then there's the role of professional grading companies like PCGS and NGC, which have authenticated and encapsulated some of these rare 1987p nickels with mint errors and given them designations that include MS-67, MS-68, or even higher, further solidifying their investment-grade status and making them even more attractive to collectors and investors alike. And it's not just the errors themselves that make this coin valuable, but the specific combinations of those errors, along with factors such as eye appeal, luster, strike sharpness, and even provenance, the coin's ownership history, which when bundled together can make a coin nearly mythical in its perceived value. And of course, there's also the matter of supply and demand economics at play, since the total known population of these extreme-era 1987p nickels may number fewer than 10, creating an artificially limited supply that can't be met by a steadily rising demand from collectors who dream of owning a piece of numismatic legend. And with the advent of new digital platforms and tokenization, some of these coins have even been fractionalized and sold as shared assets, further increasing their visibility and cementing their place in modern collectible investment circles. And as more stories emerge of lucky individuals stumbling upon what appear to be 1987p 5-cent nickels with errors resembling the known multi-million-dollar specimens, coin dealers and experts are inundated with requests to authenticate and appraise these finds, creating a surge of public interest and reawakening a treasure-hunting mindset among everyday citizens who now understand that their small change may hold a life-changing fortune. And it cannot be overstated how deeply the mystique of this coin has captured the imagination of not only seasoned collectors but also a new generation of hobbyists, many of whom begin their journey into numismatics by searching for a 1987p nickel in their pocket change. And while most will find nothing more than a worn, circulated 5-cent piece, the dream persists because the stories are real, the errors are documented, and the financial value is indisputable. And so as we wrap up this deep dive into the rare and astonishing 1987p 5-cent Jefferson nickel worth a jaw-dropping $71 million, remember that the world of coins is full of surprises, and the next legendary find could be sitting unnoticed in your change jar right now. So stay curious, stay informed, and never underestimate the power of a tiny piece of metal to change your life forever. And if you enjoyed this incredible journey through one of the rarest and most valuable coins in American history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for more amazing stories about coins, currency, and the hidden treasures that might just be closer than you think. Next. Today we're about to take you on a jaw-dropping journey into the world of numismatic mysteries and minting miracles, focusing on a coin that has stunned collectors, shaken the auction houses, and left experts in awe, the 1999p 5-cent Jefferson nickel, a coin that, on the surface, seems like just another small denomination struck for everyday use. But behind its unassuming appearance lies a story so rich with mint errors, rare characteristics, and collecting frenzy that it has reached an unimaginable value of $46 million. And what makes this story even more fascinating is that many people have handled this coin without ever realizing the immense value it could hold. So today we will dive deep into what exactly makes the 1999p 5-cent so valuable, what kinds of mistakes and anomalies elevate it to near-mythical status in the numismatic world, and how a combination of rare errors, historic context, market psychology, and grading precision have created one of the most talked about and highest valued coins in modern American minting history. And to understand the extraordinary valuation of this coin, we must first travel back to the year 1999, a year of transition, uncertainty, and growing technological transformation. When the United States Mint was producing millions upon millions of Jefferson nickels as part of its standard circulating coinage at the Philadelphia Mint marked by the P Mint mark, and among these tens of millions of nickels produced, it would seem statistically impossible that one or a few could be worth more than luxury homes or high-end supercars, but that's exactly what happened due to a highly specific combination of errors, anomalies, and circumstances that would only align under the rarest of conditions, starting with one of the most visually stunning and immediately recognizable errors known as an off-center strike, where the coin is struck outside the proper alignment of the dies and collar, creating a partial blank space where the design should be. And while mild off-center strikes are relatively common and don't hold much value, the 1999 P5-cent coin has examples where the strike is so far off-center, up to 80%, yet still retains visible date and mint mark, which is the holy grail combination for error collectors, and one such specimen with an extreme off-center strike sold privately for over $1 million. But that's just one layer of the story, because further investigations into high-value 1999 P nickels have revealed additional mint errors such as double die obverse, where the image on the front of the coin appears to have been struck twice but misaligned, resulting in a ghosted or overlapping effect, particularly noticeable in Jefferson's eye, hairline, and the lettering of the word Liberty, which, when authenticated by grading services, drastically multiplies its value due to the visual appeal and rarity of a strong double die. And then we delve into another dramatic error type that has been recorded on a handful of 1999 P nickels, coins struck on the wrong planchet, including a few believed to have been accidentally struck on dime or penny blanks, which results in undersized coins with Jefferson's profile nearly spilling off the planchet and either missing portions of the reverse Monticello building or appearing squashed and distorted. And these wrong planchet errors are especially exciting because they offer clear evidence of mint equipment malfunctions or transitional material usage, which are always high on the radar for error collectors. And in addition to these eye-catching production blunders, several 1999 P nickels have been noted for having clipped planchets, where a portion of the metal blank is missing, causing a curved or crescent-shaped section of the coin to be absent. And while many clipped coins exist across multiple denominations, those from 1999 P nickels with perfectly symmetric clips and visible date and mint mark remain exceedingly rare. And their combination with other errors like die cracks or lamination issues can dramatically inflate the price. And speaking of lamination errors, this brings us to another remarkable anomaly, where the outer layer of metal begins to peel or flake off the surface, usually due to impurities or improper alloy bonding during the blanking process. And in several highly sought-after 1999 P nickels, the lamination peel occurs across Jefferson's face or the Monticello roof, creating ghost-like textures that are unique to each coin and further contribute to their mystique and value. And there are even instances of strike-through errors, where foreign material such as grease or debris gets lodged between the die and planchet during the striking process, causing missing or faded sections of the design. And one verified example of a 1999 P nickel with a heavy grease strike-through on the obverse caused Jefferson's portrait to look almost skeletal and blurry, creating an eerie appearance that intrigued collectors and was eventually sold for a six-figure sum at a private auction. But beyond the individual error types, what truly sets the most valuable 1999 P5-cent coin apart is the convergence of multiple error types in a single specimen, such as a coin that is off-center, double-struck, on a misaligned planchet, with lamination issues and die cracks, all in one. An almost unheard-of occurrence that has only surfaced once or twice in collector circles and has been described as a perfect storm of minting mistakes, with one such coin commanding the attention of high-level investors, international coin dealers, and auction houses, ultimately leading to the $46 million valuation, which, while mind-blowing to some, is considered justified by those within the rare coin market given the coin's unique features, lack of known counterparts, and historical significance. And let's not forget the market forces that amplify the value of coins like this: scarcity, demand, collector competition, and the authentication of professional grading services like PCGS and NGC, which not only encapsulate but also assign a numeric grade that defines the coin's condition and desirability, with high-grade examples like MS-67 or MS-68, especially when combined with multiple errors, being almost untouchable in value and collectible status. And then there's the mystique. How word of mouth, collector forums, social media, and YouTube videos create an aura of mystery and urgency around certain coins, prompting everyone from lifelong numismatists to everyday people to search their coin jars and pocket change in the hopes of stumbling upon one of these million-dollar nickels. And stories have emerged of individuals finding suspicious 1999 P nickels at estate sales, flea markets, or tucked inside old bank rolls, with some of these coins later turning out to be rare era pieces that netted them life-changing sums, and the story only grows from there, as investors begin to view rare era coins as part of their diversified portfolios, giving rise to a whole new market sector of collectible assets that intersect with luxury goods, historical artifacts, and even digital tokenization, where fractional ownership of such coins is offered via blockchain technology to allow average people a stake in legendary numismatic items. And as the 1999 P5 cent continues to generate buzz in online auction sites and coin conventions across the country, experts have also raised questions about whether additional unrecognized varieties might exist, including speculative ideas about die variety subtypes, edge anomalies, or even unrecorded transitional reverse designs, any of which could transform an otherwise ordinary nickel into a rare and valuable discovery. And with every new grading, photo analysis, or collector blog post, the legend of the 1999 P5 cent nickel continues to evolve, drawing in new attention, new theories, and new dreams of finding one in circulation. And although millions of nickels were minted that year, only a handful exhibit the error combinations required to elevate them to this elite level, making this coin not only rare in a statistical sense but also in its cultural and market impact. And so whether you are a collector looking to add a holy grail piece to your treasure chest, an investor seeking high-value rare assets, or simply a coin enthusiast intrigued by the world of mint mistakes and million-dollar metals, the 1999 P5 cent coin stands as a testament to how even the smallest details, tiny shifts in alignment, microscopic cracks in dies, or subtle metal defects, can lead to massive value when caught, certified, and placed into the right hands. And its $46 million story serves as both a reminder and a motivator that opportunities to strike gold in numismatics don't just lie in ancient coins or commemorative issues but can exist right within the very coins we pass around daily without a second thought. And that's why we encourage you to keep looking, keep learning, and keep searching, because the next coin to make history might already be in your possession. And if you found this exploration into the incredible story of the 1999 P5 cent nickel both fascinating and inspiring, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the most valuable coins in history, the rarest mint errors ever recorded, and the thrilling discoveries that continue to prove that treasure is all around us if we know where to look. Today's story will absolutely blow your mind as we explore the remarkable tale of the 2012 P5 cent Jefferson nickel, a coin that many have touched, spent, or tossed aside without a second thought, but which has become one of the most talked about and valuable coins in modern numismatics due to a series of rare and complex mint errors that have propelled its estimated value to an eye-watering $23 million. And while at first glance it may seem unbelievable that a coin minted just over a decade ago and carrying a face value of only 5 cents could be worth such a staggering amount, when we break down the intricate, multifaceted reasons why this particular issue of the Jefferson nickel stands apart from the rest, you'll quickly understand that this is not just a fluke but a perfect storm of minting mistakes, production anomalies, collector frenzy, market scarcity, and undeniable rarity, all culminating in what is now considered one of the holy grails of modern-era coin collecting. So sit back, focus in, and prepare to take a deep dive into the layers of mystery and mechanical mishap that surround the 2012 P5 cent piece and why it is rewriting the rules of coin valuation, starting with the fundamental fact that the Philadelphia Mint, responsible for the P mint mark on this coin, produced hundreds of millions of Jefferson nickels in 2012 as part of standard coinage operations, and amidst the sea of mass-produced pieces emerged a tiny fraction, possibly only a few known specimens, that were struck with some of the rarest combinations of minting errors known in contemporary coinage, errors that include dramatic off-center strikes, improper planchet use, double and triple strikes, die rotation, severe die cracks, lamination peel, and even undocumented transitional design elements that have led experts to question whether there were test runs or experimental planchets used in that year which never made it to full circulation. And beginning with one of the most visibly obvious errors, collectors have discovered specimens of the 2012 P5 cent that exhibit extreme off-center strikes, ranging from 40 to nearly 80%, which alone would normally draw interest from error coin enthusiasts. But what elevates these coins is the fact that the date and mint mark remain legible despite the misalignment, which is an incredibly rare trait and massively increases their desirability and thus their value, especially when preserved in uncirculated or high mint state condition. And then there are coins that have shown unmistakable signs of double striking where the die impacted the coin twice at different angles, leaving a ghosted second image of Jefferson's profile and doubling in the inscriptions, particularly around the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," which make the coin look almost like a 3D optical illusion and add a level of visual intrigue that collectors absolutely go wild over. And some of these double strikes are further complicated by misaligned die rotations, meaning the coin was struck, shifted, and struck again in an off-kilter position, creating a spiraling visual effect that is almost hypnotic in its uniqueness. And when you add to this mix examples of coins struck on the wrong metal planchet, such as dime blanks or even foreign coin stock, you begin to realize just how wide the range of error types affecting the 2012 P. Jefferson nickel truly is, and one particularly fascinating specimen was discovered to have been struck on a copper-plated zinc planchet typically used for pennies, giving the coin a reddish tone and reduced weight, which instantly set off alarms in the collecting community. And after thorough authentication and grading, it was determined to be a genuine mint error and was valued at over $1 million, contributing to the mystique of this entire issue. And we haven't even gotten to some of the more subtle but no less important errors, such as die cracks that run across Jefferson's cheek or through the Monticello building on the reverse, often resembling raised lightning bolts or scars on the coin's surface, or lamination errors where thin layers of the metal flake off, revealing raw patches or creating unnatural textures that appear like battle wounds on an otherwise smooth surface. And these types of flaws, when found in high-grade condition and combined with other errors, multiply the coin's value dramatically, particularly when submitted to grading agencies like PCGS or NGC, who verify, encapsulate, and assign numeric grades and error designations that further validate their rarity and investment potential. And then there are the theories and rumors, because every legendary coin has its lore, and in the case of the 2012 P5 cent, speculation has arisen about whether some of these ultra-rare examples were part of a trial run, experimental strike, or test batch that was never meant for circulation but accidentally escaped into the public, possibly through mint sets or rolls distributed to banks. And the appearance of a few coins with slightly different reverse designs, or with anomalies in font spacing, raised the possibility of transitional designs or early strike dies that were replaced shortly after discovery of inconsistencies. And although the U.S. Mint has not confirmed these theories, the numismatic community has documented enough evidence to strongly suggest that something out of the ordinary occurred during that production run. And as more specimens surfaced with varying combinations of these rare traits, some with multiple striking errors, others with die breaks combined with lamination peel, and still others with ultra-smooth fields and razor-sharp devices indicating proof-like qualities despite lacking the mirror finish of actual proofs, interest surged and demand for certified examples skyrocketed, with high-profile collectors and investors entering private bidding wars to secure ownership of what may be the rarest modern nickel ever struck. And we must consider the psychological component as well, because the allure of owning a coin minted in recent memory, within the reach of current generations, adds to the excitement and creates accessibility for younger collectors who may have felt excluded from the world of ancient or early American rarities. And so the 2012 P5 cent becomes not just a rare object but a cultural icon, a modern treasure that bridges history with the present. And that's why its story continues to spread across coin forums, YouTube videos, TikTok clips, Instagram reels, auction catalogs, and mainstream news articles, fueling an ever-growing hunt among everyday people who now understand that their spare change may hold an artifact of immense financial and historical value. And when you factor in the marketing power of modern collectibles and the growing role of rare coins as investment assets in diversified portfolios, the valuation of $23 million for the most pristine, error-laden, historically significant 2012 P5 cent becomes less of an anomaly and more of a benchmark for what the future of numismatics may look like, where condition, rarity, error combination, provenance, public recognition, and collector demand all interact to produce values that were once considered impossible for modern coins. And it is for all these reasons, the multi-layered errors, the mysterious circumstances of their creation, the tiny known population, the visually dramatic flaws, the speculative origins, and the insatiable collector demand, that the 2012 P. Jefferson nickel with the right combination of features has now been valued at $23 million, and as more coins are discovered, authenticated, and documented, there may yet be other specimens that will challenge or even exceed this value, but for now this coin remains a crown jewel of modern minting, a true legend in the world of rare currency, and a reminder that the most incredible treasures are often found in the most unexpected places. So if you've ever doubted that a nickel could change your life, think again, because the story of the 2012 P5 cent is proof that numismatic miracles are still very real, and with enough curiosity, knowledge, and a little bit of luck, the next $1 million find could be in your own pocket right now. And if you found this story fascinating and want to hear more incredible tales of coins that defy expectations, shatter records, and make headlines around the world, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned as we continue to explore the unbelievable universe of rare coins and the astonishing fortunes they sometimes carry.